So along with faith, we really have to change attitude and belief systems, right? So the way I describe it here is I believe that all dreams and aspirations start with attitude, a positive attitude, and then go to it's possible. You really have to believe that it's possible. And then that is followed by feeling. And once you have all those wrapped together, that creates your reality. That's how I describe it. It's the best way I can describe it. You have to incorporate a belief system into your life, and I believe that's faith. You have to believe that your efforts will produce results. I believe it's imperative to believe in something greater than ourselves. Life gets tough. Life isn't fair. And it really will get tough. I'm reminded of a story. My Bible teacher, his name was Mr. Caton, and I believe it was like 7th or 8th grade. And I showed up to class one of the mornings, and homework was due, and he had to turn it in before class. And I got there maybe 10, 15 minutes late, and I went to hand that homework in, and he said, "Sorry, Mark, you're late." I said, "Well, I know, but I had things going on, or whatever it may be, whatever my excuse was for that given day." And he said, "I'm sorry, 0%. I can't accept it." So what do you mean? It's not fair. He looked at me and he said, "Mark, life's not fair." How true is that? Life really isn't fair. And if we really grab a hold of that and understand that, that life isn't fair, we kind of go about life a little differently. Next thing I want to talk about is what's your why? Nietzsche said, "He who has a way to live, a why to live, for it can bear almost any how." So think about that. What's your why? What's your purpose? In a book that I'm reading, Intentional Living by John Maxwell, he talks about 3 clues to your why. Number 1, and I want to move through these quickly because I know I'm behind schedule. We're in NDB, I think. Number 1 is, what do you cry about? What makes your heart break? What touches you at the depths of your soul? Think about that just for a moment. What makes you cry? Once you figure out what makes you cry, you're going to be one step closer to finding out your why, your purpose. Number 2, what do you sing about? I'm a singer. People that know me, I'm a singer. I love to get up on stage. I love to sing karaoke, sing in the shower, sing in the bathroom. I sing in the office. I listen to songs. I sing along. I sing in the car. I like to sing. What always makes you happy? What puts a bounce in your step? What makes you jump for joy or spontaneously break into song? Think about it. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The purpose of life is to not be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make a difference, that you have lived and lived well." What do you sing about? What gives you great joy? What feeds your passion? What feeds your soul? What gets you excited? Lastly, what do you dream about? What if you could do anything you want to make the world better? What if you could make a difference on a larger scale? What if you could do something significant, something that would impact others and outlast you? Think about how huge that is, that statement right there, outlast you. What are you doing on this earth that is going to leave a legacy? Not only to your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids, and they're going to talk about Grandpa so-and-so, or my father did this. He left this lasting impression on this earth based on how he lived his life, what he accomplished in his life. What skills do you have that can help others? How can you uniquely add value to others? How can you be significant? And I kind of spent a lot of my life, I guess especially the last few years, of almost in a sense of urgency. Okay, well, what is my life's purpose and what am I doing? And it was almost like this pressure of Mark, you're not fulfilling your dream. Mark, you're not fulfilling your life's purpose. And I was, I was told from a very young age that you're required. You have a huge responsibility, Mark. You're required to do great things. You're required to be a leader. And as a leader, you have a huge responsibility to all your followers, to the people, these kids that are running around. They want to be like you. They want to do the things you want to do. They're going to do the things you do. They're going to look at Mark Camilleri and say, well, he's doing it. I want to do it. And so that is a huge responsibility. And back then when I was a little kid, I didn't want that responsibility. And then when I was told it again when I was 12, I didn't want the responsibility then either. I wanted to be fun. I wanted to be Mark Camilleri. I wanted to be the wild guy. I wanted to be the mischievous one. I wanted to be the class clown. I wanted to basically dance to my own beat. Then when I was told as a teenager and then as an adult, and the same things over and over and over again. And my verse had always been, when a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. I just wasn't ready for that responsibility at that stage of my life, any of those stages of my life. There were glimpses of it. There were times when I would get on fire and I would be somebody for a couple of months at a time that was, promising, maybe working towards his future or his best version of himself. That was, but as quickly as I started to get on that path, I got right off that path. And you could probably liken me to a chameleon, because you would see me one day and I was one color, and you'd see me a few days later and I was a different color. You never knew what color I was going to be when you saw me. So I was all over the place, not focused in life, that is. I was kind of just wandering about. And when we talk about your why, I mean, what are your aspirations? What are your dreams? Your why is not my why, it's your why. Your goals aren't my goals, they're your goals. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. What do you want to change about yourself? We all have aspirations, we all have dreams and goals. We want to be somebody someday. And I'm looking around this room and I see several people that I aspire to be. I aspire to be like. I've gained inspiration by several people in this room. I've gained inspiration from my father. I've gained inspiration from my girlfriend, from my son, from my daughter, from my friends. Little certain things about them I want to be like, and I aspire to be like them. I've learned from them. So, what is your why? What are your goals? Is it to have the best marriage? Is it to run the best business? Is it to be the best student? Be the best athlete? Become financially free? Only you know your dreams and goals. In order to have what others won't have, you have to do what others won't do. I'm going to play a song by Bon Jovi. It's called Stick to Your Guns. And as you are finding your why, and as you're on the course and the path to your greatest self, you're going to have people in your way. You're going to have things in your way. You're going to have hard times. But what you have to understand is that you have to stick to your guns. You have to stick to the beliefs that you believe in as you. So I'm going to play this song. This is a song really, really special to me in my 20s and 30s when I was really blossoming into who I was as a businessman. So here it goes.